At LinkedIn, the lines have really blurred between roles, especially in our product organization. Anyone can take an idea through to ship production code. This means product managers, designers, even UX researchers have shipped new code changes. In practice, though, it's not typically one person who takes it all the way from start to finish. That's the dream, but LinkedIn is a 23-year-old company. It's actually hard for everyone to be running and changing the code left and right. What is true, though, is that everyone in product is empowered to use the technology and the tooling changes that's available to them now to just build better products faster. Because of this, at LinkedIn, we affectionately call everyone in product and engineering builders, although I heard Michelle use the term too, so we are not alone. But we really do believe that everyone now, more so than before, plays a really integral part in building products. To really grasp what this means, I want to show you some of our workflows. A lot of this AI-assisted development happens within Terminal, in GitHub Copilot. What you see here is a series of agents and skills loading that were built by specialists. And so it's not just one team off on the side building all the AI skills that someone might use, but really leveraging the expertise of the teams, like of PMs involved in building skills about doing product management, where a designer might help build skills for designers. For example, anyone in product can write a product requirements document or one-pager. The team of experts that built this put in all the knowledge that they have, as well as all the templates we use at the company to help someone like me write a one-pager. This is me going back and forth after I invoke this skill about a one-pager about this talk. I was like, I'll see what it does. What does it think about me giving this talk with Kaylee today? And it created a Google Doc for me, structured it in a way that we believe at LinkedIn has the information that teams need, but also works well for product leadership and leverages context at the organization. Also, using this workflow, anyone in project engineering can bring their ideas to life directly in Figma. So just by chatting with Copilot, it'll create the Figma file for you, leverage our design system, and bring your idea to life. We are no different. We built a research agent that is part of the same workflow. Anyone in actually the company can access our research agent that does a lot of this upfront, like early support, like leverages past insights. We use the Jobs to Be Done framework to talk about our audiences. It has all that information. One of our pet peeves is people making up jobs to be done for their audience. The research agent will tell you what actually are jobs to be done that we have found through research, that we have agreed are prioritized ones that we want to be hired for. It'll also tell you the latest top friction that we found in the product that we think you could fix next. And to give away just a little bit of the magic of our talk today, anyone can also ask the research agent if there's any research they could do themselves. It'll tell them what programs are available to them, what certification is required to do those. And if you happen to find yourself stepping into a one-on-one, you can actually use a research agent to craft an interview guide. I loved your question. It'll actually go back and forth with you. It feels to the builder like this amazing custom interview script, but it really leverages the template we gave it with the guardrails of what we think makes a good customer interview for a non-researcher to go into. What it does not yet do, though, is score the interviews after they've been conducted. So maybe we merge we'll blend our amazing agents. As you can imagine, this way of building has dramatically increased the speed that ideas come to life. And this is both an incredible opportunity, but also a major risk. It sounds amazing, just like more ideas, more experimentation. Hopefully also the idea to me of just how much faster we could solve our users' problems or solve problems that people in the world have is really exciting. But it only works if we can keep up with that pace of shipping by also increasing the pace of learning. And traditional UX research just doesn't lend itself to that. We've never wanted to be the bottleneck, and we've never been able to be in every project all the time. But now we can't be in everyone's terminal with every query that they run. And we have teams going from idea to shipped deliverable in 3 hours. And we really don't want to get in their way. Someone recently said something that really stuck with me and was a great reminder that as researchers, we weren't hired to do research. That's just one tool we have in our toolkit in order to help companies make better decisions that lead to more meaningful, valuable products. And so in service of that, in order to ensure that every product team has access to timely, trustworthy insights in the moment they need them, we've developed a 3-tiered engagement model for UX research, starting with this agentic layer. You just saw it in action. Our research agent is really there to help make sure it's like literally there where people are building in the moments that need them. And I think you got a glimpse of this. Our research agent is very much meant to help you build on existing knowledge. So all the research we've ever done lives in our repository within this agent that can be pulled out. But it's also a wayfinding agent. So it also helps you just know what resources are available, where to go to ask the right questions, what methods we typically use to solve which problems, how we can help. There are many, many insights functions at LinkedIn. And so the research agent also helps you know when to engage with UX research or not. We could have just stopped there and said, we have researchers, we have an agent, but we actually firmly believe that it's actually the human connection that's going to really make a difference in this AI empowered development process. That watching people use your product, talking to them directly, is actually going to lead to higher quality products. So we've built 2 programs on top of this agentic layer that allow any builder to speak directly to their audience. And I really, my biggest fear with all of this is that people are going to build a bunch of stuff that just looks average and mediocre, and they're going to be like, look, I shipped a bunch of stuff, but it's not actually good. And I don't think we should be the team that has to show them and tell them. I think they need to see it. And I really, just from our early examples of having rolled out these programs, see the difference it makes when a PM themselves sees what happens when their product comes to life and they're watching someone use their product versus us giving them an assessment of how the feature sort of ended up in the real world. We also still very much believe that there is a place for UX research specialists. And so along the more traditional models of UX research, we'll embed UX researchers. These researchers are typically focused on gaining durable insights that last over time and across many projects. This is also the most amazing research to feed back into the research agent, because this is stuff we want people leveraging next time they're working on something. As you can imagine at LinkedIn, this is stuff on job seeking, in general, networking, your professional identity, what does that mean? Some of this stuff it changes over time, but much slower than, is this prototype any good today? We also embed these researchers on really risky initiatives or projects. If we're really changing a paradigm or maybe building something net new with AI, we still believe that researchers are essential start to finish on those projects. And it's really these 3 things coming together that really matters and meets the moment. You know what's so cool? I've been trying this for literally over 15 years. It was in the introduction. I've been trying to democratize research for almost my whole career in UX research. And it really feels different this time. And I think it's because of 2 things. I think you said feeling like a research engineer. AI tooling has given us the capabilities to build things that weren't possible before. The other piece is that until recently, I've gotten so much pushback from other researchers. They have probably been the biggest blocker to research democratization, and we're all being asked to give up a little bit of our role today. Not just researchers. Always felt like it was just us. Why do we have to teach other people how to do our job, but they get to still do their job? And that has really changed. You saw me write a 1-pager. We have researchers on the team shipping code. And because everyone is giving away a little bit of their role in exchange for gaining these new superpowers, I have found both the support I need from other functions to build what we need to really do research enablement well, and also the support from researchers in pushing ahead. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Kaylee, our head of research operations, to share how these programs have come to life.
These programs really work best when research operations and research work together. And that's really the beauty of how Marika and I and our teams have worked together to build all of this. So today we're going to go deeper into how we built out a program to answer the low-risk questions so that we can deliver on high-quality rigor and autonomy for our builders. Marika mentioned that we have been trying and failing at building all of this stuff for years, but this moment of the blurring of the roles and AI is really bringing together a unique environment where we feel like we're able to do this well and really make it feel meaningful to everybody in the organization. That being said, it is super important to ensure that we're slowing down in this process, talking to users, and making sure that we're really focusing on them as we're building building our products. So with that in mind, we built two programs. They're called UX Observations and Live Conversations. The first one, UX Observations, is the older of the two programs. It's been around for about 2 years. And it's really focused on boosting confidence in product and design decisions, a very pragmatic program in the process. Builders get actionable feedback on usability, sentiment, and comprehension, and the program encourages builders at every stage of the product development process to use this program. Live Conversations is the riskier, the younger of the two programs. It's been around about 6 months, and it is really focused on building empathy and understanding. So we set builders up to have direct one-on-one conversations with members and customers, and we guide them through those conversations by using the jobs to be done framework, and then they can actually observe folks in their workflows and ask them actionable, feedback questions about how that's working or not. And at a really high level, the programs look a bit like this. You pick an audience and a template, you submit for a quick review, you can launch a study, get feedback, you document your findings, submit for another quick review, and then close out a program. And as I mentioned, a core goal of the program was to deliver on autonomy and speed in the program while making sure that quality bar remained really, really high. So to do this, we wanted to create a program that was highly constrained while delivering on choice for the builders. We did this by taking a templated approach. So we've got about 15 different templates that are built into the program. It gives them a good degree of choice without it feeling too overwhelming at the end of the day. Researchers built all of these templates, crafting the prompts and the questions to ensure that there's a very high quality bar in each of the templates, and they're all delivering on the kinds of feedback that we want from each of the templates. And then builders are able to go in and fill in the specifics of their particular project, but they're not able to change the core questions or change the core purpose of the template. We also predefined our audiences. These audiences here are kind of like what we've defined as LinkedIn as the main audiences for the company. We built screeners for all of these, as well as sub-audiences for each of them so that a builder can really get to the right audience for whatever project they're working on. And then they match the audience and the template, and within a couple hours or days, depending on the program, they get feedback really quickly from users. The templates and the audience, they provide a really high degree of control in the process, but getting it right still does require training. And when we were approaching the training side of it, we were like, if we don't really walk the builders through making sure that they're properly trained, we really run the risk of them misconstruing the feedback, of them maybe inflating it. We knew we really wanted to fight the desire to validate their designs through the process. But we also knew that if we set up a training program that was too long or too extensive, we would lose them before we ever got started. Like LinkedIn, people just don't have the time or the attention span for anything longer than a couple hours. On top of that, traditional training programs, like require such a level of overhead that we knew we wouldn't be able to sustain them over time. So we needed something that was going to be simple, scalable, and available on demand. So we started with some small in-person training just to like make sure we're getting that content right and really testing it with the builders and the audiences that we are working with. And from there, once we felt confident in our material, we recorded it and built out an asynchronous training program that would scale to the 600 builders that are in our organization that we want to use this program. We took an operational approach to it, of course. We built it out in a modular way so that you can kind of pick and choose the right components for each of the builders that are going through the program. And we use LinkedIn Learning, because we're LinkedIn, to put it together. And each module in the program ends with a quick quiz to like really test that knowledge before they can move on to the next one. Today, the entire learning path is a little less than 3 hours, and so builders can request to be certified, take the training, and launch their first study all within a day if they really want to. But learning doesn't become lasting behavior through theory alone. Like, you have to put it into practice, and then you have to add these quick learning points along the way to really make sure that that knowledge sticks. So we built into the program a final step in which the builders need to write their key takeaways and document those so that we can guide them, through how to speak to those learnings in a way that matches what they've learned. The report template is really short, like it's not an extensive thing. But in the case of live conversations where we're really trying to build empathy and understanding, we ask them to document their aha moment maybe that they had in a conversation. And in the case of UXO, which is that much more practical program, we're asking them to document any key decisions they might make based on what they learned. And to ensure this happens, we require that they submit their report before they can launch their next study. So it has like a nice self-fulfilling cycle in it. Okay, so to quickly come back to our flow for a minute, builders start by choosing their audience and their template. They add the specifics for their project into it in a couple of hours. They get feedback. Then they compile their report and then finalize the study and publish it to an internal repository so that other builders can learn from it as well. But there is one key piece of this process that we have not talked about, and honestly, it is definitely the most important part. Systems and processes are fantastic for creating processes that scale to really large teams, like 600 people. But the magic of this process is where the researchers actually interact directly with the builders. And there's 2 places in our process where we make sure that happens. Before every single project launches, a researcher reviews the proposal, and before every single project closes, they review the report and provide feedback on that. These checkpoints are super important to making sure that the quality stays high, but I think even more than that, it's these quick learning points that happen along the way, and it helps build confidence in the builders and also in the researchers to know that the process and the program is working in a way that really is helpful for everybody. The way we've looked at this is AI and automation can take on all of the repeatable processes that are happening across so that researchers and operations, we get to focus on the parts in the process that really matter. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Marika to tell you how it's been going.
I'm really proud of how we've been able to straddle this fine line between making it accessible to non-researchers and something they're likely to participate in, but then also stay true to what good research looks like and something that we can be proud of, like the output that comes out of this. Now that you know a little bit about the programs we have running and the agent, I'm sure you're curious what's happening on the ground. Since launching both programs last November, 92 studies have been run, giving builders at LinkedIn feedback from over 400 people on such a range of things. It's kind of amazing to think about how we describe AI use in the hiring process and recruiting process is conceptually big picture, we have a researcher on our AI-assisted hiring product, but the really tactical, should I use this word or not? A designer went back and forth a lot, what iconography works or not. Amazing that they were able to iterate on that and feel confident in what came out of that. One of my other favorite ones is a PM and designer teamed up to watch people watch videos, super meta. But it's one I don't know if you've found the videos on LinkedIn or watched any of them, but it's such a personalized experience. And so if you look at your own LinkedIn, all you know is what it looks like to you, which is unfortunately what a lot of PMs do. They're like, look, my product works great because it works for me, and just took them out of their literal world to see just what happens. Like, just watch people scroll through, watch something for 2 seconds or not, or watch something for 2 minutes. Is such an incredible application of this program. We track several success metrics, one being confidence in decision making. That for our UX observations is really our goal. It's like no one can actually predict the future. There's also not one right answer. What we're hoping for is just that mostly designers, but PMs too, just feel more confident in the product and design decision that they're making. And then for live conversation, one of our key metrics is just a deeper understanding with your audience and your users. But there's one other metric that we track, which is time well spent. And I really like this metric because it shows so nicely the value to effort trade-off that we're asking people to make. We're asking them to take time away from what they have considered their day-to-day job and spend it like observing users, which something maybe in the past researchers have done for them, or probably more realistically is just something they haven't done or didn't do or just won't do. They're going to make the decision themselves. And so really, really proud of, this is a stat from our pilot program where 100% of the builders who participated, we forced them to take the survey, which is also fantastic. They wouldn't keep access if they didn't, which was great. But they all said it was valuable time spent, which helped us make the case for scaling this outside of out of pilot into something that's generally available to everyone in the product org. And last but not least, when I joined LinkedIn about 5 years ago, we had a programs team at the time, but it was all researcher-led, rapid iterative research. So we had several different programs running like that. And I remember being so proud when we got the turnaround time to 3 weeks from kickoff to report delivery. And it absolutely blows my mind that now for UX observation, it's literally a day on average where someone says, oh, I want feedback on this idea, or I just want to watch people attempt this task in my product area. And in less than 24 hours, they have videos back of people providing that feedback or using their product. It's a little bit longer for live conversation, but that's really because of how scheduling the one-on-one interviews. I think the last time I checked, we're averaging about 6 days for that, which kind of shows that builders are saying, I'm going to take a week to conduct the series of interviews that I want to conduct. It could be a day, maybe 48 hours is probably safer, between saying I would like to talk to some people and scheduling that and then having the interviews. I really want you to meet one of the builders at LinkedIn. This is Dakota. She works on abuse reporting. So imagine seeing something on LinkedIn that you don't think should be there. You can report a post, a profile, a company. I can keep going. It's Dakota's job to make sure that that reporting flow is effortless. And she has done this amazing job at balancing working with research specialists on the really, really tough problems and sort of conceptually what's going on for people when they report. Also, talking to people whose content has been reported is something that we've put research specialists on. But Dakota has figured out alongside that how to leverage our agent and these research programs to get feedback in the moment to increase her confidence to show up strong. And actually, to close out our talk, I'm just going to have you hear from Dakota directly.
Easy to get set up. I launched multiple weeks just to get quick insights so that I have some defensible direction and data to back up my decision making when I'm bringing in my vision work ideas for leadership review, design crate, all of that, so that I have a little bit more of a POV and a perspective on what it is that I want to bring forward. And I really think UXers are best suited for early stage projects where there's you have two concepts you feel good about and you just want to get reactions to both of them. It's definitely harder getting stat-sake amounts of numbers. That's obviously a challenge. You still need to bring in your UXR counterparts. It's absolutely not a replacement for a full UXR study. It just can kind of help you, especially in the early stages of iterating on an idea, figure out, okay, this totally doesn't work, and I know that I don't want to invest the resources into a full A/B study on it. So it can definitely help save time in that way.
And with that, thank you so much.